Hi, my name is Isabelle Arvers. I am an art and game curator and artist, and today I'm very pleased to present you my thesis on decolonizing art and video games. But before starting, I would like to thank my jury members for the time they spent reading my thesis and my supervisor for her support and her supervision. To celebrate 20 years as a curator, in 2019, I embarked on an art and game world tour to meet artists and game makers from the South with a focus on female, queer, feminist, and decolonial practices. To decentralize my practice and to echo voices and representations in the South art and game world. Computer games are the world's leading cultural industry and shape the way we perceive reality. The emancipation of women, transgender people, and population from former colonial countries is still young and fragile. This is why I have decided to echo and encourage artistic and video game practices that counter stereotypes, gender, sexuality, ethnic origin, and Western-centric representations. In the first part, we dive into the heart of marginalized voices in art and gaming and analyze how these voices have emerged from the fringes of traditional narratives, crafting their own stories and identities. We examine the evolution from the locus of speech to situated knowledge, tracing the journey of decolonization through feminism and intersectionality, deconstructing social and political fictions, and embracing the concept of hybrid identities. Furthermore, we uncover the power of intercultural storytelling in game design, amplifying how narratives can bridge culture and transcend boundaries. Decolonizing the imaginary through the tactical use of games investigates new perspectives on knowledge decolonization in the digital era. We highlight the necessity of dialogue between different forms of knowledge, demonstrating the plasticity of pre-colonial knowledge and its relationship with the plasticity of the virtual world. Moreover, we reflect on co-learning pedagogy in machinima workshops and how mathematics, cybernetics, and ancestral knowledge intersect in unique and transformative ways. Throughout, we emphasize the process of decolonizing our collective imaginary. The methodology provides insights into my journey as I travel to encounter art and digital games in 17 countries of the South. The methodology sheds light on my activist-based research, feminist empowerment, decolonial perspectives, and interspecies ecofeminist approaches. Additionally, we uncover the unique methods employed, such as using parties and machinima workshops as tools for research. Through the encounters, new voices emerge, shaping the discourse on art, games, and decolonization to produce a cartography of queer, feminist, and decolonial art and games. This founding phase of the project seeks to elaborate a decolonial geography of video game creations, highlighting neglected territories and identifying and valorizing cultural, social, and economic circulations and transfers. An extended corpus of video game creation is established with 145 digital art and games from the South. The project, represented by the Art and Game World Tour and its accompanying exhibitions, seeks to dissolve boundaries between art and the world of gaming. It aims to promote alternative, independent, and experimental games, fostering diversity in terms of gender, geographical origin, and representation. In the globalized video game market, many southern countries have historically been neglected to subcontracted roles for major Western and Asian studios. They have been assigned responsibilities such as creating assets, animations, fonts, or localization. However, recent years have seen the emergence of a new local scene driven by the mobile markets and young populations' growth and post colonial aspirations. Studios and artists in these countries are reclaiming the medium, producing games primarily for their national markets. African descendant and First Native creators are providing counter narratives, and post colonial themes have become central to digital content in numerous countries. The project addresses the promotion of diversity in video game production, especially to gender. Throughout the countries visited, the project encounters feminist movements that face varying challenges. These issues include the right to abortion, equal pay, workplace equality, and combating violence against women and feminicides. In parallel with feminist concerns, the project also conducts research on queer and transgender identities in the visited countries. While some feminist movements have not been fully inclusive of LGBTQI individuals, this research seeks to address the issues faced by queer and transgender communities. Today, in most of the countries I visited, we must speak of neocolonialism rather than postcolonialism, in which soft power plays a huge role in imposing a monopolistic culture. After meeting some of the artists and activists of this new generation making their decolonization, it seems that a new world is emerging and affirming its voice, stopping to work for or like the others, but rather recalling its history or her stories when it comes to matriarchal societies, and reclaiming their roots and beliefs. The 300 interviews that I have conducted from 2019 to 2021 have transformed my practice as a curator. And in 2021, when I encountered in Senegal the dancer and choreographer Germaine Aconi, I understood that I had to go beyond meetings and collaboration and needed to incorporate my research to be able to co-create and then occupy the digital space. Incorporating research in dialogue with endogenous and non-human knowledge led me to co-creation. From my first-hand experiences with Yoruba deities in Brazilian games, voodoo immersion in Lomé during the purification ceremony dedicated to Zakpata, and the Olokun purification rituals with the Nigerian artist Jelili Atiku, meetings with traditional healers, and the virtualization of plants and trees in Gambia and Senegal. These encounters reflect the fusion of digital art, gaming, and endogenous knowledge. The incorporation of research takes a transformative turn as we investigate immersive experiences that bridge digital media and traditional wisdom. The intricate dance between digital media and voodoo rituals in Lomé, Togo, highlights the fluidity of cultural practices and the potential for digital spaces to accommodate and amplify these expressions. Co-creation becomes a guiding principle, manifesting through performances, ceremonies, and collaboration that transcend the boundaries of human and non-human agencies. While I was in Senegal, interviewing artists initiated to the power of trees to create the short documentary The Power of Trees, I had the chance to meet the Congolese musician and storyteller Manongo, with whom I co-created the Machinima Liquid Forest. The title refers to the idea that trees can be seen as vertical rivers. Following the idea of mixing traditional knowledge and digital technology, We founded the collective Techno in 2023 in Martinique with Caribbean and Brazilian artists, engineers, and Vodou practitioners, aiming to develop artistic and spiritual practices such as techno shamanism and techno Vodou. Together, we produce the digital oracle IFA. As we navigate the complexities of occupying the digital art and game space, we encounter diverse forms of resistance and subversion. From the idea of disidentification of the queer activist Esteban Munoz to body decolonization in the Decolonization workshops by the Mexican artist Requebra, we understand that decolonization has to be embodied. The involvement with dissident, anarchist, and punk game developers show how to reclaim digital platforms to question dominant narratives and systems. Radical feminist game designers redefine the landscape, waving narratives that resist traditional power dynamics and amplify marginalized voices. The incorporation of alternate realities and perspectives from non-human entities expands the breadth of this digital engagement, resonating with David Thoreau's assertion that decolonization remains incomplete if it neglects the ongoing struggles to reclaim body and territories. Game of the multitude spotlight specific games that challenge traditional narratives in which we get to know issues from people normally invisibilized in games. In Dahalo, women are defenders of the villagers, victims of the attacks of the Dahalo, the debut rustlers of southern Madagascar. In Arida, a game created by Afro-Brazilian game developers, also focuses on rural protagonists and issues such as rural exodus, drought, and survival. Ariga, Backlands Awakening, is set in the 19th century in the hinterland of Bahia, Brazil. The player is a dark-skinned young girl, the granddaughter of a peasant, who will teach her how to survive in these arid lands before leaving for another world. I examine how these games engage with history, politics, and identity to create new narrative. Digital materiality, playing with, on, against extractive economy, addresses the complex relationship between art, games, and extractive economies. It reminds us that one of the major reasons for the conflict is the extraction of minerals, essential to produce phones, computers, and consoles, making us accomplices as gamers or game producers in this trafficking and depletion of the earth. It analyzes gaming projects like Mine and Trance Factory by the game artist Afrane Makov, based in Kumasi in Ghana, or Chronicles of Klinu, a location-based game created in the frame of Enter Africa in Accra, in Ghana, that immerses you inside Agbogboshi, the biggest e-trash in Africa, shedding light on how digital materiality can challenge and transform our understanding of resource extraction, and shows that video games can also represent a means of acting on the present by raising awareness of these issues. I introduced the concept of diffractive methodology as a lens through which to decolonize art and games. Drawing inspiration from feminist scholar Karen Barad, we embrace the entanglement of ideas, humans and non-human entities. This approach challenges traditional research paradigms and invites us to reimagine the world of art and games as intertwined with broader social, cultural, ecological, and spiritual contexts. By diffracting, we see beyond linear narratives and occupy the digital art and game space. We are no longer outside digital art and game. We have a response, ability, toward the game we play, how they are made, and how they are recycled. Becoming with non-humans in digital art and games dives into the concept of becoming with of Donna Haraway or Version Desprez, as it applies to art and games. I analyze how games can transcend the human-centric perspective and establish kinships with non-human entities, highlighting games like Wagadu Chronicles or Mulaka, in which we learn how to worship spirits or heal ourselves and the planet. I show the potential of games and digital arts to transform humans and their behaviors and relation to their environment. In this thesis, I show how I became with games like IFA Holocaust Rise or Contos de IFA in Brazil, ended up by co-creating a digital Fa oracle with the collective Techno. So my hope is what happened to me can be an example for future generations of gamers. To conclude this part, I will echo Wanda Nani Bush's speech about resistance among the Anishinaabe, from whom the concept of resistance is tied to the act of planting, nurturing, and being nurtured by the land. How these practices can be mirrored in digital games, emphasizing the importance of reciprocal relationships and sustainable coexistence to create a new canvas of decolonized creativity. As we conclude this journey, we gain a deep understanding of the power of art and games to decolonize narratives, redefine identities, and empower marginalized voices. The canvas of digital creativity is now a fertile ground for transformation, bridging cultures, matching barriers, and rewriting history or her stories. Decolonizing art and video games stands as a testament to the potential of pixels and code to shape a more inclusive, equitable, and diverse world. Through the lens of this immersion, we are reminded that creativity, innovation, and resistance are not only tools of expression, but also instruments of change in the ongoing endeavor of decolonization. To achieve this new objective, I became we with the Brazilian artist and activist Livia Diniz, and we decided to use pedagogic activism with green games to inspire new learning methodologies, to change the demand for video games in the new generations, and to raise awareness about their environment using games as a medium. The Green Games Pedagogical Kit is designed for anyone working with young people. It includes a dozen green games and workshop instruction sheets, like walks enhanced by visual, sound, and 3D recordings, design of short films based on green games, mixed with walk footage, design of video games inspired by the walks and focusing on natural elements. The idea is to use video games to encourage changes in behavior toward the environment by playing games that take the point of view of trees, water, or animals, or whose narratives are linked to current climate issues. But also by playing games developed with an environmental conscience, which are less technology intensive and feature different aesthetics and game mechanics. It is essential to promote and distribute green games, to produce green games with the communities, and to imagine other types of games based on other cosmogonies and cosmologies. And to achieve this project, we imagine a 10-year plan to make it happen in various places in the world and analyze the role of games in educating and inspiring change. As we are already actively engaged in implementing the Green Games Pedagogical Kit, I'll be leading a week-long game design workshop in Dahab, Sinai, Egypt this November. The aim is to quick start the production of a Bedouin mobile game where every aspect from drawings and storytellings to gameplay will be crafted by Bedouin children. and to continue with the diffractive methodology and my responsibility towards games and the environment, I am now working on a new art and science collaboration with the sound artist Julie Roos and the marine biologist Camila Rimoldi-Ibanez to create an immersive sound and visual installation titled Choral Sounds to make visible the research of Camila on choral communication through ultrasound.